story begins in the shadows of Los Angeles, California. The date is November 14th, 1969. Outside, the great city moves with fast cars, bright lights, and loud noises, but deep below the street, the world has stopped entirely. The time is exactly 9 o'clock at night. It is a cold, dry evening. The temperature has dropped to exactly 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The chill creeps slowly through the thick concrete walls, but inside this private, underground training hall, the air feels intensely heavy and thick with anticipation. Slowly, a single beam of pale moonlight cuts through a small, high window. It shines down onto the center of the floor, revealing thousands of tiny dust particles dancing slowly in the empty air. The room is dimly lit, bathed in deep, dark shadows that hide the corners. Above, a single long fluorescent light hangs by chains from the low ceiling. It flickers slightly. The only sound in the entire room is the low, steady electrical hum of this single light. It is a quiet, continuous drone, sounding like a slow, mechanical heartbeat, filling the empty space and pushing against the silence. If you close your eyes and breathe in, the physical history of this hidden room fills your lungs. There is the rich, dry smell of ancient pine wood. The wooden floorboards have been polished smooth by years of bare feet moving quickly across them. Every scratch on the wood tells a silent story of balance, struggle, and survival. Underneath the scent of the wood, there is the dusty smell of heavy canvas mats, stained with the raw effort of 1,000 long nights. Above all, there is the sharp, honest smell of fresh sweat hanging lightly in the air. It is the undeniable scent of deep human focus, of physical sacrifice, and of pure martial arts discipline. Standing quietly at the edges of this square room are exactly 12 people. They are not talking to each other. They are not moving their hands or shifting their feet. They stand perfectly still, forming a wide, respectful circle. Their faces are half hidden in the dim shadows, but their eyes are wide open, watching the empty space in the center of the wooden floor. They breathe slowly, deliberately, trying hard not to make a single sound. The cold air bites at their skin, yet no one shivers. The tension in the room is like a tight, heavy string, pulled perfectly straight and ready to snap. These 12 people are fully aware of the dangerous energy building inside the walls. They are standing at the very edge of a violent storm. They are about to witness a moment of pure truth. It is an event that will never be recorded by cameras or printed in newspapers, but it will become a permanent legend, whispered by masters to their students forever. History is holding its breath. Suddenly, the heavy wooden door at the far end of the hall groans open. The quiet atmosphere shatters. A massive shadow steps inside, blocking the dim light from the hallway, stretching across the polished pine floor like a dark storm cloud. Through the door walks Stephen. He is a giant of a man, bringing a violent, restless energy into the perfectly still room. He stands exactly 6 feet and 4 inches tall. He carries a heavy, dense weight of exactly 240 pounds. His muscles are thick and rigid, built by moving heavy weights, making his shoulders wide and stiff. His walk is not light, it is heavy and profoundly aggressive. Every time his thick boots strike the wooden floorboards, a loud, heavy thud echoes off the concrete walls, loudly announcing his physical dominance. He is dressed in dark, expensive clothes. The fine, heavy fabric shifts sharply as he moves, displaying a man who cares deeply about his appearance and his power. He steps into the circle, his chin held high, looking down his nose at the 12 silent people in the room. He breathes heavily through his mouth, his broad chest rising and falling with raw, impatient anger. He takes up space, demanding attention, wanting everyone to feel his immense size. But in the exact center of the room, standing directly under the single flickering light, is another figure. In the center stands Bruce. The visual contrast between the two men is absolute and total. Bruce is much smaller, looking almost fragile compared to the massive giant standing at the edge of the circle. Bruce stands exactly 5 feet and 7 inches tall. He weighs only 135 pounds. There is no excess bulk on his frame, only thin, coiled, steel-like muscle beneath his skin. He wears no expensive fabrics to impress the silent watchers. He is dressed in simple, loose black trousers and a plain, soft white cotton shirt. The sleeves are gently rolled up, revealing thin, completely relaxed wrists. While the giant's heavy boots stomp the floor, Bruce's soft cloth shoes make absolutely no sound. While the giant puffs his chest and breathes heavily with dark anger, Bruce is perfectly calm. He stands naturally, his arms hanging loosely by his sides. There is no tension in his neck, no anger in his jaw. His eyes are clear and deeply observant, reflecting the dim light like quiet pools of calm water. He watches the giant approach, but he does not step back. The physical reality of the room is staggering. 240 pounds of angry, thick muscle stands against 135 pounds of pure, relaxed focus. One man is a rigid, heavy stone, trying to crush anything in his path. The other man is like thin air, impossible to hold, impossible to break. The giant breathes loudly, filling the quiet space with noise. Bruce breathes entirely through his nose, his breathing so incredibly slow and silent that his chest barely seems to move at all. How should we proceed to the next moment in this quiet, deadly standoff? Stephen steps forward, violently closing the distance between them. His thick-soled boots make loud, cracking sounds against the polished pine floorboards. Each step is a deliberate threat, a physical strike designed to intimidate and overwhelm. He stops exactly 3 feet away, towering over the smaller man, attempting to cast a dark shadow over him. His large face is twisted into a hard mask of pure ego and dark anger. The thick veins in his wide neck bulge under his flushed skin. He violently raises a heavy arm and points a thick finger directly at Bruce's center. The giant desperately wants to create panic. He demands to see fear rising in the smaller man's eyes. "You are just an actor," Stephen says loudly. His deep, rough voice shatters the quiet stillness of the room like a hammer hitting glass. The violent sound echoes sharply against the cold concrete walls, bouncing back and forth, ringing in the ears of the 12 silent witnesses standing in the shadows. "You do tricks for the camera. You perform empty illusions. Real fighters do not dance. I will show you what a real fight is." He spits the heavy words out like stones, trying to physically crush the spirit of the quiet man. His massive chest expands further, his ego feeding on the harsh volume of his own voice. He is completely, blindly certain that his sheer physical size and his terrifying volume guarantee total victory. But Bruce does not step back. He does not flinch. He does not even blink. The crashing noise of the giant's shout washes over him like a passing breeze, touching his skin but moving absolutely nothing inside him. While Stephen's face is tight with heavy anger, Bruce's face remains a profound picture of absolute, terrifying serenity. His dark eyes are perfectly sharp, incredibly bright, and completely awake. There is no sudden tension in his jaw, no defensive tightening of his relaxed shoulders. Instead of reflecting the giant's aggressive anger, Bruce simply smiles softly. It is not a mocking smirk. It is a genuine look of pure, quiet peace. It is the look of a master who deeply understands the absolute laws of physical motion. A man who knows scientifically that anger is simply a foolish waste of precious energy. When Bruce finally speaks, his voice is not loud. He does not raise his volume to compete with the roaring giant. A true martial artist does not need to shout to prove his strength, Bruce replies. His tone is perfectly calm, completely flat, and beautifully steady. It does not echo wildly. Instead, it cuts cleanly and directly through the thick, tense air like a sharpened blade. The quiet power in his voice instantly controls the room. Bruce lowers his chin just a fraction of an inch, his observant eyes locking onto the heavy, rigid posture of the giant. "Let us test your truth." The simple words are spoken softly, but they carry the unstoppable weight of gravity itself. The giant relies entirely on the loud illusions of muscle, but the smaller man is anchored completely in the inescapable reality of physics. Stephen immediately reacts to the quiet challenge. He violently shifts his massive weight, stepping his thick boots far apart. He spreads his heavy legs wide, attempting to permanently anchor his massive body to the polished wooden floor. But in doing so, he makes a critical, invisible mistake. He completely locks his heavy knees. He violently raises his massive arms, tightly flexing every dense muscle in his thick shoulders, his wide chest, and his heavy back. The thick veins in his neck pulse rapidly against his flushed skin, He firmly clenches his large hands into tight, heavy fists, squeezing them so hard that his knuckles turn entirely white. He becomes completely stiff. He intentionally builds himself into a solid brick wall of raw human flesh. He is relying entirely on his brute size, banking everything on his heavy structure to intimidate and overwhelm the smaller man. However, in the pure, unforgiving science of physical combat, extreme muscular tension is a fatal trap. By aggressively flexing every single muscle at the same time, the giant is effectively fighting his own body. His own internal friction is heavily weighing him down. He is hopelessly trapped inside a heavy, rigid cage of his own massive strength. Directly across from this incredibly tense mountain of muscle, Bruce does not change his posture at all. He completely ignores the aggressive display. He does not take a rigid, traditional fighting pose. He does not quickly raise his fists to tightly guard his face. He simply stands naturally, looking like a man quietly waiting on a calm street corner. His soft cloth shoes rest perfectly lightly on the polished wood. His thin knees are slightly bent, completely unlocked, acting as perfect biological shock absorbers, ready to instantly spring. His small shoulders are entirely dropped, entirely free from any anxious or fearful tension. His thin arms hang loosely and comfortably by his sides. His muscles are beautifully loose, carrying absolutely zero unnecessary strain. He understands perfectly that absolute physical speed is born directly from total relaxation. A tight, flexed muscle cannot quickly accelerate. It must first relax before it can aggressively move forward. Bruce is already fully relaxed. He is silently holding pure, perfectly unspent kinetic energy inside his incredibly still, calm frame. The heavy silence in the underground room deepens to a terrifying level. The 12 hidden witnesses standing in the dark corners do not dare to take a single breath. The visual contrast in physical mechanics is absolute and deeply profound. The angry giant is acting exactly like a heavy, rigid stone, hard and unmoving, proudly displaying his deeply hardened exterior. But hard stones can always be chipped. Rigid stone can easily be broken. Bruce, however, is entirely fluid. He is waiting with absolute, terrifying patience, exactly like clear water resting silently inside a quiet cup. Water has absolutely no solid shape to strike, no rigid form to ever break. It simply waits, perfectly calm, for the exact moment the environment forces it to softly move. The cold air violently crackling between the two men is thick with dangerous electricity. The heavy giant is rapidly burning his precious energy just to stand perfectly still, vibrating endlessly with unreleased, blinding anger. The small man is completely empty, brilliantly preserving every tiny ounce of his quiet life force. The agonizing tension in the dim hall finally reaches its absolute physical limit. The stillness is entirely unnatural. It is the heavy, quiet breath right before a devastating storm. Suddenly, the absolute stillness shatters. The invisible string of tension finally snaps. The physical action erupts in a violent burst of sudden motion, but to the highly trained eye, time immediately begins to warp. The camera of history switches to extreme, agonizing slow motion. The frantic beating of 12 anxious hearts seems to pause completely. The rapid events of the next 5 seconds stretch out, pulling apart into single, heavily weighted fractions of a second. Every tiny, microscopic detail becomes terrifyingly clear. Stephen makes the first desperate move. He violently forces his enormous body forward. He uses his deeply planted back foot to aggressively push off the polished wooden floor. The sharp, sudden transfer of his 240 pounds creates immense, crushing friction. The old floorboards groan loudly in protest beneath his heavy boot. He is relying entirely on the brutal forward momentum of his massive, uncontrolled weight. He drops his heavy chin, gritting his teeth, his eyes burning with absolute blinding aggression. He throws all his heavy mass into a single, terrifying strike. He violently twists his thick torso, launching a massive, looping right punch aimed directly for the side of Bruce's quiet head. The biomechanics of his attack are brutal, but they are heavily flawed. Because his muscles are already rigidly tense, his heavy arm must travel in a wide, inefficient circular path. It is a sweeping, wild hook, pulling its power from his massive shoulders and wide back rather than the ground. The giant's fist is as large and dense as a heavy river stone. It begins its long journey through the cold air. The sheer terrifying size of his arm creates a low rushing sound as it cuts violently through the empty space. It is a strike designed to crush bone, to completely destroy whatever it touches. Inside his own mind, the giant has already won. His overwhelming ego tells him that victory is absolutely certain. He believes entirely in the deadly math of his own massive scale. He is fully convinced that his superior physical size, combined with his heavy, massive swing, absolutely guarantees a devastating instant knockout. He pours every drop of his dark anger into the heavy knuckles flying rapidly toward the quiet man. He does not even consider the distant possibility of failure. However, the pure, unforgiving laws of physics dictate a very different reality. A heavy object traveling in a wide, looping circle takes a dangerous amount of time to reach its intended target. It travels a vast distance, boldly announcing its violent arrival long before it ever connects. Pure, heavy muscle is always terribly slow when it is completely blind with a massive ego. The giant has foolishly sacrificed perfect balance for raw, emotional power. His violent anger has made his movements entirely predictable. In this stretched, slow-motion reality, the massive, rushing fist is a terrifying weapon of immense destruction, yet it is moving exactly like a loud, heavy train on a completely fixed, unchangeable track. And the calm man, standing perfectly still directly in its deadly path, sees the heavy strike coming as clearly as the rising sun, second by heavily weighted second. We are allowed to watch the pure, unforgiving physics of survival unfold on the polished wooden floor. The heavy, looping punch closes in rapidly on its target, carrying a dark promise of sudden violence. A normal fighter would instantly panic under this massive shadow. A normal man would immediately lift his tense arms up high, trying desperately to build a physical wall to block the massive strike. But Bruce deeply understands the absolute truth of kinetic energy. Blocking is a fundamental, dangerous flaw. Blocking rigidly requires fighting a massive force with a much smaller force. If 135 pounds tries to directly stop 240 pounds of violently moving muscle, the smaller bones will inevitably shatter under the crushing pressure. Therefore, Bruce completely refuses to fight the heavy force. He does not offer the angry giant anything solid to hit. Instead of resisting, Bruce executes a flawless masterpiece of microscopic, deliberate movement. He remains completely relaxed, acting exactly like calm water smoothly parting around a falling heavy stone. His soft black cloth shoe slides silently against the polished pine floorboards. He smoothly pivots his back foot exactly 2 inches to the right. It is an incredibly tiny, perfectly calculated mathematical adjustment. At that exact same microscopic fraction of a second, he drops his low center of gravity, simply bending his front knee by exactly 1 single degree. He does not jump backward in fear. He does not duck wildly out of control. He simply moves his physical center to a completely new, incredibly safe coordinate in empty space. This incredibly tiny, precise movement instantly creates a perfect, untouchable angle of evasion. The giant's massive right fist finally arrives at its destination. It carries enough brutal kinetic energy to easily break solid hardwood, but it violently finds absolutely nothing. The incredibly heavy knuckles rush blindly past Bruce's calm, quiet face, miraculously missing his smooth skin by mere millimeters. The harsh, violent wind created by the rapidly moving fist softly rustles the dark hair resting on Bruce's forehead. The giant strikes completely through pure, empty air. All that heavy, screaming anger, all that rigidly tense muscle, and all that dark, blinding intention completely and utterly fails. The quiet, empty space absorbs the brutal strike perfectly, offering zero resistance. Now, the brutal and undeniable laws of forward momentum turn completely against the aggressive attacker, because Stephen eagerly put all of his massive weight into a violent punch that connected with absolutely nothing. His own violent energy has nowhere to safely go. The heavy mass of his thick chest and wide shoulders continues to violently pull him forward into the empty air. His tightly locked knees and rigid, heavy stance simply cannot adjust to the sudden, shocking loss of physical resistance. He is now being physically dragged forward by his very own massive, unspent kinetic energy. His heavily planted, wide feet are suddenly rendered completely useless. His heavy center of gravity shifts dangerously far past his front foot. In a single, stretched heartbeat, The terrifying giant transitions from a completely dominant, aggressive mountain to a desperately falling, uncontrolled stone. He is utterly and terribly off balance, completely exposed, and falling blindly forward into the empty trap that the perfectly calm man just brilliantly created, with the giant falling blindly forward, completely trapped by his own massive, uncontrolled weight. The perfect moment for the counterattack finally arrives. It is not a wild act of sudden anger or desperate survival. It is an expression of pure, flawless science. Bruce does not swing his thin arm wildly in return. He does not pull his fist backward to gather strength, because doing so would blindly waste precious fractions of a second, and loudly announce his quiet intention. Instead, he simply uses the heavy gravity of the earth. He suddenly drops his physical weight downward by just a fraction of an inch, firmly locking his physical connection to the solid wooden floor beneath his soft cloth shoes. From this perfectly grounded position, he quietly initiates the strike. He turns his hips extremely sharply. This single, rapid rotation is the true hidden engine of human physical power. The sudden, explosive, twisting movement violently pulls pure kinetic energy directly upward from the hard ground. It is a perfect mechanical chain reaction, a masterpiece of unseen body mechanics. The invisible wave of power travels rapidly up through the tight muscles of his back leg. It whips violently through his sharply turning hip like a heavy steel whip. It flows cleanly across his perfectly relaxed back and surges directly into his loose, completely dropped shoulder. Because there is absolutely no rigid muscular tension in his body to fight against the natural motion, the rising energy is not slowed down at all. It moves rapidly through him with the terrifying, unblockable speed of a raw electrical current suddenly passing through a clean wire. Finally, this massive, unbroken wave of pure force snaps directly into his firmly closed right fist. It is the absolute perfect use of physical leverage. His hand does not travel in a wide, slow circle like the giant's heavy, defeated arm. It travels in a perfectly straight, inescapable line. His fist moves a total physical distance of only 3 short inches. Yet, within the tiny space of those 3 inches, because of the flawless kinetic chain, it achieves maximum, devastating velocity. The small fist suddenly becomes as violently heavy and unstoppable as a speeding bullet. The precise strike connects perfectly. Bruce's hardened knuckles find the exact center of the falling giant's massive chest. They strike deeply and incredibly accurately into the soft, highly vulnerable cluster of nerves right at the solar plexus, just below the heavy chest muscles. The sound of the sharp impact is brutally deep. It is a perfect, flawless collision of pure physics. 100% of the devastating kinetic energy pulled from the wooden floor, perfectly multiplied by the sharp rotation of the hip, instantly leaves Bruce's small fist. The strike does not simply push the massive man away. Instead, the raw, concentrated power transfers instantly and violently deep inside the giant's heavy body, sending a devastating, paralyzing shockwave directly through his massive nervous system. Instantly, the warped, agonizing slow motion shatters, and the brutal reality of normal time violently resumes. The entire exchange, from the start of the heavy, looping punch to the devastating 3-inch counterstrike, takes absolutely less than 1 single second in real time. It is a terrifyingly fast, almost invisible blur of human motion. The heavy, tense silence of the underground room is violently broken by a single, terrifyingly sharp sound. A loud, explosive crack echoes through the dusty air. It is not the sound of breaking bone, but the brutal, acoustic shockwave of pure kinetic energy violently collapsing against solid muscle. It sounds exactly like a heavy leather whip snapping sharply inside a small, enclosed stone cave. The immediate physical effect on the giant is absolute, total, and completely devastating. Stephen's wide, intensely angry eyes suddenly expand with deep, uncontrollable shock. His aggressive mind simply cannot process the catastrophic, instant failure of his massive physical body. The precise, deeply localized impact at his solar plexus completely paralyzes his heavy diaphragm. Every single cubic inch of oxygen stored deeply inside his large, expanding lungs is violently and instantly forced out through his open mouth in a sudden, harsh rush. It is a hollow, deeply desperate sound, the terrible, sickening noise of a massive machine instantly losing all of its power. The blinding ego and dark anger that drove him forward completely disappeared in a fraction of a second, entirely replaced by pure, helpless biological panic. The rigid, heavily fortified structure of his thick muscles instantly fails. The 240 pounds of dense human flesh suddenly no longer has any internal support. His thick legs immediately lose all their rigid strength. His heavy knees buckle entirely, rendered completely useless by the sudden shock to his central nervous system. The massive man stops moving forward and begins to fall straight backward, completely surrendering to the heavy, unforgiving pull of absolute gravity. He falls exactly like a massive, ancient tree abruptly chopped at its heavy base. There is absolutely no grace or control in his sudden descent. He cannot even lift his heavy arms to safely brace his massive fall. He hits the polished pine floorboards with a terrible, heavy, sickening crash. The violent impact literally shakes the solid ground. The loud, heavy thud echoes harshly off the cold concrete walls, vibrating directly into the silent chests of the 12 hidden witnesses watching from the dark corners. The giant immediately rolls over onto his heavy side, violently curling his massive frame inward. He instinctively brings his large hands up, desperately clutching the center of his chest. The room is no longer filled with his loud, aggressive shouting. Instead, it is filled with a raw, ugly, primitive noise. He is gasping loudly, his wide mouth desperately pulling at the cold, empty air, entirely defeated by perfectly applied physics. A heavy, suffocating blanket of total silence instantly falls over the dusty, underground training hall. The loud, terrifying echo of the giant's massive body violently crashing against the solid pine floorboards slowly fades directly into the cold concrete walls. What remains is a profound, deeply unnatural quiet. The camera of history slowly and deliberately pans across the deep, dark shadows at the far edges of the room. It moves silently across the pale faces of the 12 hidden witnesses. They are completely frozen, standing perfectly still, exactly like ancient stone statues completely trapped in time. They do not speak a single whispered word to one another. They do not dare to nervously shift their feet or even blink their wide, deeply shocked eyes. The raw, undeniable reality of what they have just seen completely paralyzes their minds. Their brains simply cannot instantly process the sudden, violent mathematics of this impossible physical event. The arrogant, loud shouting that filled the cold air just seconds ago is completely gone. Now, the only sound vibrating through the entire empty room is the low, steady, electrical hum of the single fluorescent ceiling light. It buzzes coldly and continuously overhead, sounding exactly like a slow, indifferent mechanical heartbeat. Beneath this quiet drone is the brutal, deeply ragged sound of the massive giant desperately fighting for his breath on the polished wooden floor. He thrashes blindly, his heavy hands gripping his thick chest as he violently gasps, pulling desperately at the cold air. Every wet, hollow sound he makes is a devastating, loud reminder of his sudden, total physical defeat. A profound, legendary truth has just been permanently written onto the physical world in front of these 12 silent people. A completely calm, profoundly relaxed 135-pound man has just utterly destroyed a highly aggressive, heavily muscled 240-pound giant. The entire violent encounter took absolutely less than 5 single seconds. It was not a chaotic, bloody brawl. It was not a desperate, wild struggle of raw strength. It was a perfect, deadly calculation, cleanly executed with a single, incredibly tiny 3-inch strike. Pure, applied physics has just completely and absolutely conquered blind, heavy ego. In the exact center of the stunning, violent aftermath, the small man remains entirely untouched by the sudden chaos. Bruce stands perfectly still, resting exactly where he started before the massive attack began. His soft black cloth shoes have barely moved from their original position on the old pine floorboards. His simple, white cotton shirt is completely clean and perfectly smooth. His thin arms hang completely loose, entirely and deeply relaxed by his sides. He does not puff out his chest in arrogant victory. He does not look around the dark room to proudly gather the shocked, amazed stares of the silent witnesses. His calm face shows absolutely no dark anger, no cheap pride, and absolutely zero remaining adrenaline. He simply exists in a state of pure, undisturbed peace, while the giant violently struggles against his own biology. Bruce is completely empty. His breathing is still incredibly slow, perfectly steady, and entirely silent. The brief, violent physical fight is completely finished, but the true, lasting purpose of this quiet night is only just beginning. In the dim, flickering light of the underground training hall, Bruce does not turn to acknowledge the 12 silent witnesses standing frozen in the dark shadows. He does not smile with arrogant pride. He does not laugh at the massive, defeated man struggling on the ground. A true martial arts master deeply understands that sudden violence is merely a harsh tool for profound teaching, never a foolish reason for cheap celebration. Bruce moves slowly. His soft, black cloth shoes make a gentle, sweeping sound against the polished pine floorboards as he steps forward. He walks quietly and calmly over to the heavy, gasping giant. He gracefully drops his weight, kneeling down smoothly next to the fallen man. His perfectly relaxed movements are as gentle and deeply controlled as a quiet breeze. He does not look down at the massive figure with any lingering anger, and he certainly does not look at him with insulting pity. Instead, his sharp, dark eyes are filled entirely with a profound, quiet respect. He reaches out his small, thin hand, offering his open palm to the desperately struggling man. Slowly, heavily fighting through the lingering biological shock and the deep physical pain radiating from his chest, the giant raises his thick, trembling arm. He grasps the surprisingly strong, small hand, using perfectly balanced, simple physical leverage instead of raw lifting muscle. Bruce smoothly pulls backward, easily helping the heavily muscled, 240-pound man sit up heavily on the dusty floor. The giant's breathing is still terribly ragged, his wide, heavy chest heaving with effort, but the blinding, aggressive ego is completely gone from his wide eyes. He has been completely emptied of his arrogant illusions. He is finally ready to quietly listen. Bruce looks directly and deeply into Stephen's tired eyes. He speaks softly, but his calm, flat voice easily carries the unstoppable heavy weight of absolute, universal truth. "Do not be a rigid tree," Bruce says quietly to him, the soft words echoing lightly against the cold, concrete walls. When the violent storm comes, the rigid tree proudly fights the heavy wind, and so it violently breaks. You must be exactly like water making its quiet way through tiny, hidden cracks. Do not angrily assert yourself against the force, but perfectly adjust to the object in front of you. Water has absolutely no solid shape, so it cannot ever be caught. It has no rigid form, so it cannot ever be broken. Bruce's face remains a perfect portrait of profound, unbreakable peace. Today, your massive size was your heavy cage. Your rigid anger was your terrible prison. My speed, my absolute relaxation, and my total emptiness are my pure freedom. You must let go of your heavy pride. Empty your mind. Be formless. Be shapeless. Be water, my friend. The giant simply sits heavily on the polished wooden floor. He slowly nods his heavy head. He is finally breathing calmly again, entirely and forever humbled by the absolute truth of pure physics and deeply changed by the quiet, unstoppable spirit of a true legend.